Welcome back to the channel. The 2025 Honda Shadow 750 rolls onto the scene with quiet confidence, continuing its legacy as one of the most beloved midsize cruisers in motorcycling history. There's something timeless about the Shadow. It doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't chase trends. Instead, it embodies that classic American cruiser vibe with a Japanese twist, reliable, smooth, and satisfying from the very first twist of the throttle. This year's model doesn't throw away what's already working, it embraces it. Honda understands the loyal Shadow rider, someone who appreciates simple beauty, dependable mechanics, and just the right amount of power for the open road or the city grind. For 2025, the Shadow 750 retains its heart, a liquid-cooled 745 cubic centimeters V-twin engine that delivers buttery torque and a relaxed cruising demeanor. But it's been subtly refined to meet the latest emissions standards while squeezing out just a touch more efficiency and responsiveness. The sound, as always, is rich and throaty without being obnoxious. That V-twin hum, deep and soulful, fills the space between the buildings as you ride through town, or echoes gently on a winding rural highway. It's an engine that doesn't ask for a heavy hand, it wants you to roll with it, to ease into your ride rather than race through it. The Shadow has always been about the journey, not the destination, and that philosophy is alive and well in this 2025 edition. Visually, the 2025 Shadow hasn't gone through a radical transformation, but it didn't need to. Instead, Honda has given it a tasteful update, a fresh palette of colors, more modern lighting, and just a touch more polish in the finish. The classic fenders and teardrop tank are still there, sculpted to evoke the spirit of post-war cruisers. But now there's LED lighting front and rear, which adds visibility and a hint of modern flair. The frame is tight and clean, with all the wiring and plumbing tucked neatly away. No clutter, just character. One of the most appreciated aspects of the Shadow 750 is how approachable it is. At just over 560 pounds wet, it's light enough for newer riders to handle with confidence but still feels substantial beneath you. The seat height remains low, around 25.9 inches, which means almost anyone can flat-foot it at a stop. That low-slung design contributes to the feeling of being part of the bike, rather than perched on top of it. Combined with wide bars and forward-set pegs, it's a natural cruiser stance, relaxed and in control. Riding the Shadow 750 is all about ease. The 5-speed transmission clicks into gear with Honda's trademark smoothness. Shifts are predictable, clutch feel is light, and throttle response is linear and forgiving. Around town, it's agile enough to cut through traffic without feeling twitchy. On the highway, it's planted and composed, comfortably cruising at 70 with plenty of pull left for overtakes. It's not built for aggressive speed runs, but if you want to spend all day in the saddle just watching the scenery roll by, this bike was made for you. Suspension remains conventional but effective. The telescopic fork up front and dual rear shocks soak up bumps without complaint. It's not sport bike stiff, but it doesn't wallow either. This is a bike you can ride for hours without thinking about it, which is the best kind of ride. New for 2025, the rear shocks have slightly revised damping, making for a smoother experience over choppy pavement, especially with a passenger or loaded with weekend gear. Braking is handled by a single disc up front and a drum in the rear, an old-school setup that may seem outdated on paper, but in practice it works just fine for the kind of riding this bike is meant for. There's also an optional ABS version this year, which many will appreciate, especially new riders. It's a welcome nod to safety without changing the spirit of the bike. Another subtle but appreciated upgrade is in the electronics. The dash now features a small, clean digital display nestled within the traditional analog speedometer. It gives you the essentials: trip info, fuel gauge, clock, without being distracting or breaking the vintage vibe. There's no ride modes, no traction control, and no touchscreens, and that's exactly how Shadow riders like it. It's a bike for people who want to feel the ride, not be managed by it. Honda's attention to build quality is evident everywhere you look. From the chrome accents to the paintwork to the solid feel of the switchgear, everything gives off an air of longevity. This is a motorcycle that isn't just made to be ridden, it's made to last. Owners often talk about putting tens of thousands of miles on their Shadows with nothing more than regular oil changes and chain lubes. It's that kind of confidence that makes people fall in love with this bike and keep it for decades. Customization continues to be a major appeal of the Shadow 750. Honda knows its riders like to make their bikes their own, and the aftermarket scene has responded. Whether you want to bob it out, throw on saddlebags for touring, or just add a little flair with custom grips and mirrors, there's no shortage of options. The bike's simplicity is part of its charm. It's a blank canvas with a beating heart. Pricing for the 2025 model remains incredibly competitive. Starting in the low $8,000s, the Shadow 750 undercuts many competitors while delivering a level of refinement and reliability they can't match. For riders looking to get into the cruiser world without breaking the bank, or for seasoned bikers who want a second ride that's low fuss but full of charm, the Shadow hits a sweet spot. Fuel economy is solid, too. You're looking at around 55 miles per gallon in mixed riding, meaning that with a 3.7-gallon tank, you've got a comfortable range for weekend adventures or daily commutes. And when you do stop to fill up, you'll be reminded how low operating costs really are for this bike, another reason why it's such a great long-term companion. As more bikes become tech-laden, high-strung, and overcomplicated, the Honda Shadow 750 stays true to itself. It's not trying to be anything it's not. It's not here to win spec-sheet wars or push performance boundaries. It's here to offer you a ride that feels good, looks good, and doesn't ask much in return. That kind of honesty is rare these days, and it's a big part of why this bike still has such a loyal following. So whether you're a new rider looking for something approachable, or a veteran seeking a second bike that's low maintenance and high enjoyment, the 2025 Honda Shadow 750 might be exactly what you're looking for. It doesn't demand attention, it earns it. 1 mile at a time,